Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel of your PD and India Credit Point. So I am Vinish Sharma, your mentor of mechanical engineering. So today I am here to discuss you regarding the NPCL interview here. Okay, so as you know, the NPCL has announced the list of the shortlisted candidate which has been selected for the final stage now. That is the interview. Okay, so in this case, in this video, I am going to tell you, I am going to provide you the information that how to prepare for this particular exam here. Okay, for this particular interview here. Okay, and what will be your preparation strategy and what should be your how many subjects you have to choose. Okay, and what kind of question can you expect from the in the interview here. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you, let me provide you a brief introduction here. So basically, the shortlisting of the candidate has been done for the executive trainee 2025 here. Okay, and it is done on the basis of the valid gate score or the 23, 24 and the 25. Okay, so in this case, the number of candidates which has been shortlisted are to be called in the ratio of 1:12 here. Okay, so that simply means out of 12 students, they are going to select only one candidate here. Okay, along with that, you can see NPCL and the BRC interviews are getting clash here. Okay, somewhere between the end of the May and the first week of the June here. Okay, so you have a very nice opportunity to appear for both of these if your dates are not clashing. But if your dates are clashing here, then you have to choose in between the NPCL and the BRC here. Okay, so now coming back to our first question here, what should be our preparation strategy here in this case? So basically, in this interview, how many subjects you have to chosen? See, this particular video is specifically for the chemical engineering heads. I am going to discuss you about the chemical engineering. Okay, so now in this case, I will tell you that what are the important subjects. So first of all, you have to choose 4 or 5 subjects minimum, okay, as your favorite subject, because they are going to ask you that first of all, that what are your favorite subject here, and they are going to frame you question from that particular topic only. Okay, so make ensure that you cover up the 4 or 5 subject thoroughly. Okay, and the 4 and 5 subjects should be chosen in such a way that these subject find its application in the industries here. Okay, like for example, you find a direct application of the thermodynamics, heat transfer and the fluid mechanics in the industries. Okay, which deals with the devices which basically find its application from this particular subjects here. Along with that, you can choose chemical reaction engineering as your favorite subject. That's a very interesting subject for the interview here. Okay, so these are the 4 subjects which you can choose for the chemical engineering here. Now coming back to this here, it is not like that you have to prepare only the favorite subjects here. You have to prepare your BTech projects, you have to prepare your MTech project if you have done the post graduation also, and if you have done any internship in your graduation, then you have to also prepare for that also. Okay, because they may ask you about your BTech projects here. Okay, along with that, see, the first thing what I have told you is the 5 subjects here. Okay, 5 subjects you have to choose first of all. Now the next part is you have to cover up the BTech project, as well as you have to BTech project you have to see. Along with that, you have to see your MTech project if you have done the post graduation. Okay, so these are 2 things you have to be well prepared for your interview, because the interview is the final stage now for your final selections here. Okay, because if you see, if you are not able to go in interviews, even though if you are having the high score, your chances of getting selected is going to be very less here. So make ensure that whenever you are going for an interview, just you prepare, you present yourself in a very well way. Okay, now the next thing is, now normally the questions, basically if we talk about the favorite subject, then normally all the students choose these 3 subjects only. Okay, sometimes the interviewer get irritated from that here. Okay, and they may ask you to mention some other subject also. So in order to avoid that condition, okay, in that case you can prepare at least 2 different subjects other than your favorite subjects. Okay, 2 different subjects here. So these 2 different subjects, it can be anything as per your choice. Okay, these 2 different subjects can be as per your choice here. It can be anything. Now just see, in case the interviewer doesn't ask you the question from your favorite subjects here, you can mention these subjects here, and they can you can be able to give your answers related to these subjects here. Okay, so it will create a better impression in front of them here. Now the next thing is, see, so we have talked about the favorite subjects, we have talked about the important things which we have to cover up for the final interview. Along with that, if the interview doesn't go in your way, so in that case you can mention 2 other subjects also. Okay, if they ask you the question from some out of the topics here. Now the next part is, the question arises, sir, how we have to prepare these subjects. See, first of all, if you are going for BRC and NPCL both, in that case the interviewer preparation is going to be very different, because if you see in the case of BRC, they are going to ask you a very in-depth questions related to any particular topic here. But if we talk about the NPCL, they don't ask you in-depth questions here. You should be aware of the fundamental knowledge of all these subjects here. Okay, the basic definition you should be aware. The simple derivation. It is not like that you have to do the complete derivations here. Okay, the basic understanding, basic fundamental the definitions here. Along with that, some basic derivation if you are able to do, then it will be good for you. Otherwise, you can skip that also. Okay. So I can say the BTech, the BARC interview, if you see, normally go in the vertical direction. Basically, they ask you a simple question and they go in deep in that particular topic here. But in the case of NPCL, it is not like that. Okay, if you are aware of all the topics, if you have a basic understanding of that particular topic, that will be sufficient for you. The only thing is you have to present it in a very well way. Okay, so that's the only thing required for the NPCL interview here. Okay, so make ensure the thing which I am telling you here, you just follow all of these things here, and you are just, if you just prepare for your interview in this way only. Okay, just prepare the five subjects. Along with that, just prepare the BTech projects here. Along with that, prepare your internship if you have done any. Okay, along with that, you just prepare 2 different subjects also, just for the backup plan here. Okay, it will be much better for you in that case. Okay, so that's the only information which I am going to provide you here. So you can choose the thermodynamics, heat transfer, fluid mechanics, chemical reaction engineering, mass transfer. These 5 subjects can be chosen as your favorite subjects here. Now let's move to our next part. What kind of question can they can ask you? Okay, so let us suppose if we talk about the second law of thermodynamics here. What kind of question they may ask? They can directly ask you that how do you define the second law of thermodynamics? How many statements are there and what are they? Okay, what is the difference between these 2 statements and where do you find its practical applications here? This type of questions can be asked. They can ask you related to the pure substances here. Okay, that simply means what kind of different plots we create normally in the thermodynamics, and how the shape of the domes are created here. Okay, along with that, they can ask you what is the throttling process. So you can see normally the fundamentals is required of each and every topic. That is the only thing required. And similarly, if we talk about the heat transfer subject or mass transfer subject, they can directly ask you related to the fixed law of diffusion here. Okay, they can ask you about the heat exchangers, because heat exchangers find its direct application in the industries. Okay, so they can directly ask you that how do you classify the heat exchanger, what are the procedure for designing the heat exchangers here. Okay, so let us suppose if you find any fault in the heat exchanger, then how do we mitigate that fault here. Okay, what are the necessary steps required to mitigate, how do we do maintenance here. Okay, this type of question can be normally asked in this particular type of interview here. Okay, so just making sure that you prepare all of these things in a very sequential manner here. Okay, and don't lose your hope during your final preparation stage here, because this is going to be a last stage to get a final selection here. Okay, so that's it for this particular video here. So thank you very much.